Hello, this is Grandpa Joe, and I want to talk to you about how to make a better mousetrap. My definition here for better mousetrap is a mousetrap that will have an alarm when it goes off. Here's a mousetrap. Mouse comes along, hits the bait, alarm comes on. It's nice to have a mousetrap with an alarm on it so that you can get the mouse out of there before it starts decomposing. And also, if you ever set mouse traps and leave them for a month and forget to check them all the time, and then you catch a mouse and then you forget it's there, so you miss it. And if you're not going to get the mouse out pretty soon and it starts stinking at the house, you might as well use bait to get the mouse. What's nice about traps, it catches the mouse and you can get rid of the mouse before you have those kind of troubles. So today I'm going to talk about how to make one of these. You're going to need a trap, the traps I'm using are wired, the old wired type traps. They cost about $1 each. You're also going to need an alarm. These are door and window wireless alarm. These use a magnet, an alarm. This particular variety is sold through Amazon. They get very poor reviews because the reed switch in them don't work well. Not that, but that doesn't concern us. And also there's adhesives that don't work well. We don't care about that either. So anyways, they're cheap. They're about $2.50 each if you buy them in packs of 4. So got an alarm. It looks like this. I'm going to take the batteries out the back. So I take the screws off the back. I haven't got the batteries in it yet. So open it up. Depends what kind of alarm you have. What they have in back, this has to have a Phillips. Open it up, and this thing has a reed switch right there. Those are 2 metal pieces, and those pieces normally will be touching together if a magnet's close by. And a magnet goes away, it opens up. Opening up causes the alarm to turn on. Going to put my batteries in the alarm, turn the alarm on. So the batteries, so the magnet is close to the reed switch. The reed switch no longer has contact. The alarm's off. Magnet away. Alarm turns on. Right now I'm pushing the 2 metal pieces together to squelch the alarm. Let go. In order to make this mousetrap with an alarm, I'm going to substitute this reed switch for the metal in the mousetrap. So the reed switch touching, the electricity will go through the staple, through the arm, through the hammer, and then onto the over here on the spring. So I'll wire up between the staple and the anchor for the spring, and that'll replace the reed switch. And the reed switch, this is a real cheap reed switch here, which is for our purposes great because you can pull it right out, pull the 2 metal pieces out, and it'll make it really easy for us to wire those pieces. Next we are going to need some wire. This is some wire hanging around the house. Going to cut it in some lengths. I don't know how long, but a little more than 6 inches there it looks like. I'm making. I'm going to go and strip the wire. Kind of short one I usually do, and then a longer one on the other side. Do that to both pieces. The longer one, short one. Use a short one on the trap itself. You can do it first on the staple for the trap. Just twisting around to kind of lock that wire in. Get the other wire, stick underneath the kind of anchor for the spring, or the end of the spring here. Get it up, there we go, good. Around we go. So those are attached. Take the other wire, hitch it to your now broken reed switch. Now some of these reed switches that they'll have an alarm, you get a different alarm than this one. It will be an enclosed reed switch. You're going to have to wire around it. That's what you're going to have to do. This one's just really cheap, and it's the reed switch is open. I'm able to take it apart and put my wire on it. Okay. All right. So we got it together. Let's see if it works. Set the trap, mouse comes along, hits the trap, alarm. What you might want to do, what you do want to do, is to take your soldering gun and your solder and solder your joint. You got 4 connections. 1, 2, 3, 4. Solder them, make sure they have good connections for you. These batteries, they don't last that long. The alarm sounding, it will only last 24 hours. So what you might want to consider is to using your house voltage to run the alarm. To do that, you go to Amazon, you get yourself a 3-volt DC transformer. Cut the ends off, and then you solder in your 2 wires. Take your wires and put them into the posts on where your batteries go, and then you can plug in your alarm into your household circuit so that this alarm can last for years and be set. Thank you very much for listening.